resume proceedings.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Commissioners, I recall Muhammad Lamin Jiba.
Yes, sir. Can we remind you, you're still on the oath? Okay. Right, thank you.
Mr. Jiba,
good morning.
Could you remind us of the period you worked as Managing Director, Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation?
I was appointed Managing Director of the Gambia Post Authority in 2004 and worked there till 2011, almost 7 years.
2004 to 2011?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were Managing Director, Social Security during this period?
Gambia Post Authority. Gambia Post Authority.
Okay, you are GPA from 2004 to 2011?
Yes, Your Honor.
My question was in relation to Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. What period were you there as Managing Director?
I was deployed to Social Security on the 3rd of April 2011 to August 22nd, 2012.
27 August?
22nd August 2012. From 3rd April 2011, 22nd August 2012. Almost 1 year, 5 or 6 months.
Did you only do one tour of duty as Managing Director of Social Security? You had only one tour of duty as Managing Director of Social Security?
Yes, Your Honor, yes. From 2011 to 2012.
All right. Can I have SC 17 to 25? (17 to 25). Can you bring all of it, please? During the period that you were Managing Director of Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, did you receive any instructions from the Office of the President or the President himself with regard to loans from the corporation?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many do you remember?
I received directives to pay some money in dollars on behalf of NAWEC, to the International Islamic Finance Bank. And I also received instructions to
sorry, let's start with the dollar one. To pay some money in dollars to whom?
To the International Islamic Finance Company on behalf of NAWEC. Those are directives I received from the Office of the President, which we complied. I think I have a copy of the...
All right. Can we start with SC 18? Let me have 18 first, whilst you are compiling the rest. Do you recollect receiving any directives to pay money to Mr. Amadou Samba?
Yes, Your Honor. We received directives. I think the Office of the President wanted us to provide the money for them to buy a water tank at a cost of 6.4 million. And we were directed to hand over the money to Mr. Amadou Samba.
I'm going to show you Exhibit SC 18.
Yes, Your Honor.
And this is a bundle of documents, and I'd like you to tell the Commission whether these are the documents in connection to that payment that you mentioned.
Yes, Your Honor. These were the payments that we have made.
Now, the top page is SSHFC routing slip from the Office of the Managing Director, and it's in handwriting. in confidence, urgent. Approval is herewith given for this payment to be done by us. Please proceed to provide the money to Mr. Samba. And it's signed. Whose handwriting is that?
Your Honor, that's my handwriting, and those are my minutes and all instructions to the Director of Finance and Investment.
The attached letter is a letter from the Office of the President, not even on letterhead, Mr. Jiba, and it's from Usman Jame. It just says the office is urgently in need of a cash loan of $6,432,700 to address a very critical issue, and would be very grateful if you could assist. We want to assure you that this amount will be refunded before the end of this month. The above amount can be delivered to Mr. Amadou Samba of Gassem. Thank you for your understanding and support. Mr. Jiba, why would you act on such a letter as the Managing Director of Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation?
No, I think it's a long time, but if I can recollect, I think first, I can't remember the full details, but I thought they first gave me a call in relation to this directive.
Who first gave you a call?
I'm not sure whether it was the President himself, very likely, or Mr. Jame. I cannot recollect now. But I think I insisted in a we should be written to enable for the record and to enable us to take action.
You insisted that you should be written to?
Yes, I persuaded them that they should write to us. They should put it in writing.
But you of course...
Of course, I didn't know it was on a letterhead. But when I was deployed to Social Security, Your Honor, at that time, I think I had some strained relationship with the Office of the President, with the President himself. So
you had a what relationship?
Strained.
Strained. Yes,
Strained,
what does that mean? Yes.
Well, I think it has something to do with my work as Managing Director of the Gambia Post Authority at the time.
Your work as
the MD of the Gambia Post Authority at the time.
Gambia Post
Before
Authority.
I was deployed to Social Security, yes, ma'am.
We are listening.
It's an aside because it's something to do with the ferries, Aljamdo and Kansala.
The effects of?
I said maybe it doesn't actually affect Social Security, but I have a feeling I gave advice in relation to the ferries Aljamdo and Kansala. I was opposed to the project in the first place. I didn't want the Gambia government to procure those ferries.
Okay, you're talking about the ferries. We'll come to that. But we would like to know why you would act on such instructions to pay money from the National Provident Fund to the Office of the President. This letter, in the first place, as Managing Director of Social Security and Housing Finance, you are appointed under an Act of Parliament, and your duties are set out in that Act. And certainly it does not include a tank, settle an invoice for a tank. So maybe you have an explanation. If you have, the Commission would like to hear it.
Your Honor, the whole matter or issue was orchestrated by the Office of the President, by the President himself. I know it's not good corporate governance practice for us to comply with this kind of directives. But given the limited choice that we face at the time, we had no other alternative but to comply, even though personally I know that this is not correct, this is wrong.
You said given the limited choice. Is that what you said?
Well, because there was no option.
Why? You could have told him that this is National Provident Funds. It doesn't belong to government. It belongs to the people, the workers. We cannot apply the funds as you are requesting.
I agree with you, Ma. I wish I was bold enough to do that. But as I said, there are instances where I do discuss with the president on a personal level on issues or matters that I feel they were not correct. And perhaps one of the key reasons why I was deployed to Social Security was the fact that...
Perhaps, sorry?
It's not what I'm saying is I could have done what would have been the best for the country. But in this case, out of fear, and I think I didn't act professionally as I would have loved or wished to. But I agree that definitely, the best of hindsight, we could have engaged the Office of the President in such a case where it doesn't serve the public interest.
Was the case where?
We were not serving the public interest, because this was a private thing.
I'm sorry, I'm finding it difficult to understand what you're saying.
I said I'm of the view that the form and manner in which we have acted in this case was unprofessional and it was wrong. But we were dealing with the Office of the President at the time and we were forced to comply.
Who was the chairman of your board at the time?
It was Mr. Mamadou Akibayo at the time.
During this period, not Mr. Samba?
No, Your Honor.
When you made this payment to Mr. Samba, it was Mamadou Akibayo. If you are not sure, we'll check the records anyway, but did you discuss it?
Unfortunately, I did not, because it was extremely urgent and highly confidential.
It was extremely urgent?
Yes.
Did you say it was extremely urgent?
It was extremely urgent.
How do you know it was extremely urgent?
Because we had telephone calls to that effect.
Why was it urgent? This is just about a water tank. Payment for a water tank.
I suppose because maybe the water tank belongs to the president and he wanted us to pay, to release the money as soon as possible.
And the invoice says Scanning Life Family Farms.
I was of the view maybe the president was connected to Scanning Life Family Farm.
That's all you can say about this. But did you take it to the board subsequently?
No, I can't remember, Ma. I don't think, I'm not sure whether I've done that. I can't remember.
Now, this was paid out on the 4th of August 2011. You, according to your evidence, you left on the 22nd of August 2011. Do you remember who your auditors were at the time? Did they pick on this?
It's a long time now, I can't remember.
You cannot remember?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll show you another transaction there. Can you show the witness SC19? SC19 is dated 14 October 2011. SC19 is about a loan of 10 million to KGI to purchase Tobaski Rams.
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, there is a memo in handwriting. Whose handwriting is that?
Your Honor, it is my handwriting.
This time, Mr. Jiba, there is not even a letter from the Office of the President. All we have is your memo to your staff, Director of Finance, I believe,
Yes, Your Honor.
And it says, with reference to the reloan of 10 million to KGI to purchase Tobaski ramps for the poor and the needy. With reference to the above mentioned, please proceed to provide a loan of 10 million to KGI for the purpose stated above. The management of KGI has pledged to settle the loan by December 2011. Please proceed to pay to any of their bank accounts with Trust Bank or others. Thanks. And then we have KGI International, and there is a bank account.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. What is this, Mr. Jiba?
These were verbal directives that were
verbal directives from who?
From the president himself. He
yes,
called me.
Tell us why you wrote this memo.
That's what I'm trying to explain. I said I received verbal directives from him that we should provide KGI $10 million for them to buy Tobaski rams for the company to sell rams to members of the public at affordable prices. These were directives that I got from him directly.
He called you?
He called me while I was in the office.
By phone,
yes.
Or he called you to his office, or what?
No, he called me on the phone while I was in my office.
You did not even ask that it be put in writing?
I was trying to explain something. I said I should have done that. Sometimes I do persuade him or whoever to put it in writing, but as I was trying to explain, I said when I was deployed to Social Security, the relations between me and the president had suffered so much. I was afraid to do what was right for the country.
Mr. Jiba, you were talking about a strained relationship you had, which
yes,
made you afraid to ask questions.
What I was trying to explain is that in the past, when I was at the Post Authority, I used to provide some sound and technical advice to the president himself on things of national importance. But it came to a point where I was of the view that he was not accepting some of my advice, to the extent that maybe he was angry with me. That led him to transfer or to deploy me to Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. So during my tenure of office there, I did not have the courage to be able to raise some of the issues that I felt were not proper.
And you're saying this is one of them?
Yes, Your Honor. When I went to Social Security, some of the directives that came from the office of the president, I was more of overstamping them than actually asking questions in relation to
sorry, I can't hear that. You said when you had Social Security?
I no longer had the courage to challenge politely, or maybe to raise issues that I felt were an aberration, from either FI or GO. Because I thought in the past, as head of an organization, it's always been my wish and desire to advise of the president in issues that I felt were of good of public interest to the country.
So as far as you are concerned, whatever he requested, you would give him at that stage?
These things were private, and in as much as I shared the view that it was not correct for him to request Social Security to make this kind of payments, I could not challenge, just because, as I said, I felt that the relationship between us are so much there I wasn't comfortable to raise those issues.
I assume, of course, that this transaction was also not brought to the attention of the board.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your minute, which is the only thing we have, there is no request from the Office of the President, indicated that KGI has pledged to settle the loan by December 2011. When you say KGI, who do you mean had pledged to settle the loan by December 2011?
I was just trying to reflect what he told me in the telephone conversation.
So by KGI, you meant the ex-president. When you say KGI has pledged, you mean the ex-president had pledged to settle the loan by December 2011.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now we know this loan was not settled. Is that correct? Until you left, this loan was not settled.
No, it was settled since I left.
He had previously taken a loan in August. That was to buy a water tank. Now he takes another loan in December. This time for Tobaski rams, which were supposed to be sold, I presume. Did you follow up this loan?
As far as my tenure as Social Security, excuse me, I did not make a follow-up. But when I was at the port, there are instances where things of similar nature, I had made a follow-up.
After these where did you go after your stint as Managing Director of Social Security ended on the 22nd of August 2012?
I was redeployed back to Amber Post Authority as Managing Director.
You were redeployed back. Was that as a result of your good behavior whilst you were at Social Security? By not questioning him anymore?
I don't know the reasons why I was deployed back to Gambia Post Authority.
Because you seem to be saying that you might have been deployed to Social Security because he was not pleased with you. Now you are taking back to Port Authority. What should we make of that?
I did not re-engage him to find out why I was asked to go back to the ports, even though I would have loved to stay at Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation.
You would have loved to?
I would have loved to stay at Social Security and Housing because I thought I had.
You would have loved to stay with Social Security?
Yes, because I had worked in the ports for almost 7 years as Managing Director, and I would have loved to move to another institution, where maybe I might have new challenges.
I see. We'll move on to another subject whilst we are at Social Security. I'll show you this document, which is part of SC 24, Mr. Chairman. Now, whilst we were at Social Security, loans were made to NAWEC to buy heavy fuel. I'm going to show you these documents. What we have is that in 2011, in June 2011, $7.9 million odd loan was made to NAWEC to pay ITFC for heavy fuel. And in May 2012, $5 million was again made. In the same May 2012, another $4.6 million